if you look at the, it's interesting, like is the case with your affluence and your economic position, even with education, amongst those who haven't been to school, the Congress has a 52 versus 27 gap between the Congress and the BJP. Amongst those who have a professional degree, it's 41 for the BJP and 29 for the Congress. So here it is on your screen now. Just look at it. As you go up the education ladder, not gone to school, 52% say they voted for the Congress. 12th pass, 37% say they voted for the Congress. Graduate, 36%. Postgraduate, 33%. 29% professional degree. So the more educated you are, the less likely you are to vote for the Congress. In Karnataka, for the BJP, amongst those who didn't go to school, only 27% said they will vote for the BJP. Amongst those who have professional degrees, 41% said they'd vote for the BJP. 38% of those who are 12th pass. Now, the BJP will say, ye jo padhe likhe nahi the, unhone harwa diya. That's a big problem because only 27% of those who didn't go to school voted for the BJP versus 52.
No, Rahul, you have to see what is the total 100% representation is. The ratio, right ratio is. The right ratio is if you want to talk about occupation, I have that also. If you want to talk about first, let's talk about income group. So up to 10,000, there are 53% people, 53. 10,000 to 20,000 income, 31%. 20,000 to 30,000, only 12%. And 30,000 and above, 4%.
So even if the rich or relatively rich are voting, it doesn't matter because the poor are voting for the
Yes, and
BJP.
That is why the welfare schemes are all about. Otherwise, why?
No, so let's show you urban and rural. And this, Ashok Malik, again is problematic because typically you expect that in urban areas the Congress will not do well, which has been the trend, that the BJP is the urban party, or at least the, in most states in urban areas the BJP has done well. Now in Karnataka though, in rural areas the Congress is 41% of the vote share. In urban areas it has 44% of the vote share. So the Congress's vote share in urban areas is 3% more than the Congress's vote share in rural areas. The BJP, which has a 33% rural vote share, has a 36% urban vote share. The JDS 19 versus 14. Now
because of JDS.
Sure. But the interesting thing is, and this again, if you've been tracking Indian politics post 2014, you wouldn't have seen happen in too many states, where the Congress's vote share in a major state is actually higher in urban areas than it is in rural areas. Sandeep Shastri, where else would this have happened? Since
Rahul,
2014.
I think it's important to notice that as per the exit poll, the gap between the Congress and BJP, both in rural and urban, is 8%. Why does it look bigger in urban areas? That's because the JDS is losing 5% there. And that 5% is getting transferred to Congress and BJP.
And Rahul, please, the poor also live in urban India.
Yes, that's important.
No, Rahul,
the age-wise. No, forget all this urban-rural divide. This is an election, it's staring us in the face. If we don't see it now, Pradeep Gupta, I think, has brilliantly analyzed this poll if he gets the numbers right. Because poor also have hurt. Post-COVID, where the BJP is, well, what did Mr. Yogi Adityanath do? Mr. Yogi Adityanath won the election because he got certain issues like law and order right, which are also major concerns, rural and urban. What Mr. Bommai got wrong, I think, if these numbers are right, is A, his government was perceived as corrupt. 40% commission sarkara stuck in people's minds when contractors association, school association. So those are issues that did. But the real issue that hit was the welfare schemes that Mr. Siddaramaiah had were either slashed down or were not working as effectively in the last couple of years. And that is where you went to the poor. The first thing they said, but sir, cylinder price 1200 rupees. I met a lady outside a Lingayat Math in Gokak, and that's where finally some button clicked. That's how it clicks. That's how you find a poll. You don't go to the guys who speak. You go to the person who doesn't want to speak on camera. And she told me, go away from here. First get my gas cylinder for me at 400 rupees again. That's when I knew this election had changed. The poor were voting. All these rural, urban, Rahul, are important, but the real change is the lower income groups, lower middle class, poor have heard. Do you know that there is a place called Yadgir where there's huge malnutrition in Karnataka? The
That's
problem
where I
is
went. That's where I went, Rajdeep.
Yeah.
Yadgir and Raichur.
Yeah,
and
so
that's where
I'm
the
glad
first
you
thing
went
they
there
told.
because most journalists, I just read an article by a senior, political analyst today in one of the newspapers where he was convinced about the bright lights. Yes, Karnataka has got the most FDI. FDI doesn't win you election. Chandrababu Naidu would have won Andhra Pradesh all those years ago.
in Raichur
Elections
is
are
where?
won through
Thoda
welfare.
wait kar lete hain, 13 tak.
No, I'm saying
because
if these numbers are right. You know what? Why Pradeep's polls work for me? Because there's a logic to the numbers. It's not just he doesn't throw numbers. When you've broken these numbers down just now, I can see the logic and it matches what we saw on the ground. That's what we need to start doing.
It's
in
not
polls.
like one pollster who I mentioned earlier came up with a particular trend earlier in the evening, saw Pradeep's numbers, then reversed his trend, didn't change it by a little bit, but just completely reversed his trend.
Yes, sir.
May I now let me tell you the psychology of voter and what is the reality on the ground across the India and across the country. The 100 vote cast, general election 33% didn't turn up. So 100 vote cast, which is 2/3, 67% vote. 80% of that 100 who cast the vote belongs to the poor and mostly rural. Of course, in some area, urban also, but 80% is that, and that is the reason why welfare schemes are. 1, 2. Over the years across the state, wherever BJP is also winning with the same plan, with the same dynamics, with the same dynamic and same Labharti, which is the case. So whenever people go, all election is about three things: Vade, Dave, Irade.